Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. Be not deceived. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High Power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Bahashem, Raha Kodash. Shalom to the elder apostles, great millstone. Shalom to the elders, and Akim wa Akwathium. Shalom. I just want to go in a quick video. Well, I'm gonna try to be quick. I got a few precepts I want to run down, pertaining to biblical karma. In the world they believe in worldly karma. That what you do, that what you should also receive. So there's a lot of karma scriptures in the Holy Scriptures, and we just read one there in Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. That what you do. So in agriculture, we can analogize it to agriculture. Whatever seeds you have an apple, farmer has his seeds, plant them out there in the field. Whatever his seed is, whatever seeds he plant, he's going to reap that and grow that, right? It's going to come out as that. So you take an apple seed, you plant it in the ground, water it, nurture it, let it get sunlight. Then what? Grows into an apple tree. And then that apple tree brings forth apples. So that's what you reap, apples. So deeds are like seeds. So whatever deed you do, you sowing that. And that's the seed that you sowing, right? So whenever you it comes to fruition, it's going to come back upon you. And whatever you sowed, that's what you're going to reap in the future. So this verse popped into my head. We're going to go ahead and hit this real quick too. Ecclesiastes. This is a real consistent one here now in these last days. So right here, Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. So it's all right. So the white man, so-called white man, Esau, Edom, he only sowed wickedness. He's only killed, slaughtered, destroyed, raped, robbed, murdered, and spoiled the Israelites and the whole earth. Gobbled down all kind of riches, starting with the Israelites. We're the jewels of the Most High. And so, because judgment has not come upon him, he believes that he's going to forever be able to get away with wickedness. Well, he didn't create himself. How did we all get here? Through another power. We didn't have the power to create ourselves. We don't even know that our self exists until what, 4 or 5 years old. We can't remember that far back. We can't remember when we was in a womb. We can't remember. We didn't form ourselves. So, that's going in it pretty heavy. But, there was a righteous power that created everything is what I'm getting at. So eventually Esau, Edom, so-called white man, will pay for what he's done. He wants everybody else to pay for what they've done, but don't want us to pay. They want R. Kelly to pay. I don't care about R. Kelly. He wicked. He shouldn't have did what he did. But they hate R. Kelly for what he did to females and, minors back in the day. But but every level of the elites, it's child pedophilia all throughout the entire earth, called Pizzagate, where they speaking in code. But they want to sit here and vilify R. Kelly and all these puppets, Edomite, so-called white people, so-called white folks, average Joe, hating R. Kelly, got all kind of venom towards him, but ain't got nothing, no strength toward their own wicked. That's on a nation scale. But anyways, I won't go off on a tangent on that, but yeah. So what is the Esau? So whatever seed you sow, that's what it's going to come out as. That's what that root is going to be, an apple seed. So so-called white man is the wicked root or wicked seed. All he does is produce what kind of fruit? Wicked fruit. I can't remember the precept, but a righteous tree is going to bear righteous fruit. A wicked tree is going to bear wicked fruit, right? So water and venom can't come out of the same fountain, or water and oil can't come out of the same fountain. So Galatians, from there, go to Galatians 6 and 8. And it reads, "For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption." Because we know the flesh is of the sinful nature. So if you're doing fleshly, carnal, wicked deeds of the flesh, fulfilling, that's what this society is, a self-indulgent society. It's all about fulfilling the flesh, nothing spiritual. That's why that's why it's going to get burned down based off that alone, because nobody's keeping the commandments. They only doing as thou wilt. The law, statutes, and commandments are done away with, as Christianity has lied, which is a hell of a drug, polluting the brains, mind, and spirits of the people to cause them an error. So continuing, "But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting." So if you reap towards the flesh, do fleshly things, do as thou wilt in Babylon the Great, live in a riotous, wicked life, lawless life, then you're going to reap corruption and death. So so we'll go from there to Romans 8 and 6. And it reads, "For to be carnally minded is death." So what's carnal is flesh, fleshly minded, doing sowing fleshly deeds, as Galatians 6 and 8 just as the Lord said in Galatians 6 and 8. But to be spiritually minded is life and peace. So what is spiritual? So let's go from there to we'll go real quick to First Corinthians. This here is on the fly real quick. I don't have these written down. 1 Corinthians 2 and 15. Yeah, that's it. So 1 Corinthians 2:15. "But he that is spiritual judgeth all things, yet he himself is judged of no man." If you're spiritual, you're keeping the commandments, and no one can tell you anything because you're not sinning. That's why you're not judged of no man. But he that is spiritual, he can spiritually discern good from evil and can tell someone if they're going off. That's how he can judge all things. Contrary to popular belief of Christianity, the hell of a drug, you can judge according to the law, statutes, and commandments. That's why the Most High gave it to us, so that we can judge righteous judgment amongst one another and keep each other in line and in check according to the commandments. So how you know that the commandments are spiritual? We'll go to Romans chapter 7. Romans chapter 7 and verse 14. "For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold unto sin." How are we carnal? Because we're in these fleshly bodies, which are referenced as the everlasting chains of darkness in Jude chapter 1 verse 6, I believe verse 6. Jude is a chapter right before Revelation. So when you read here again, verse 14, "For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold unto sin." So the law is spiritual. So he that is spiritual judges all things. He that keeps the commandments can judge all things. And he that sows spiritual things, you're sowing lawful deeds. You're not eating pork. You're not eating crab, shrimp, lobster. You're not eating all of it, squid, calamari. You're not eating oysters, sardine, catfish, the bottom feeders of the sea. You're not eating all that abomination. So, and then, you're keeping the Sabbath, keeping the commandments to the best of your ability. And your spiritual diet is on point. You're not being drunken with the wine of the unclean diet of spiritual philosophies and wicked, blasphemous religions of man. So from there, we'll go to karma. So staying on topic, the karma. What has Esau, Edom, so-called white man, sown? Nothing but wickedness, fleshly things. So it's going to come back upon his own head. So we'll go to Revelations chapter 18, verse 7. "How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously." So she's glorified herself. That's Esau, Edom, speaking great things. He's proud. He lived deliciously, having all the money, and all the money on the work and on the planet. He got everything. He heaps upon himself all the riches of the earth, rape, robbing, and spoiling everybody, starting with the Israelites and the other heathen nations. Sitteth upon many waters, sitteth upon all nations, with the UN, United Nations, running everybody, handing out sanctions unjustly, and he don't receive any. America don't receive any sanctions. Like back in 9/11, when Bush wanted to go run up in Afghanistan, the other members on the other nations, they didn't at the UN, they didn't agree for him to immediately go do that. And then what did Bush turn around and tell them? He said, "If you're not with me, you're against me." So he's a hypocrite. He's a demon. He's wicked. He's wicked as hell. He want everybody else to follow rules, harsh, strict rules that he put in place. But whenever it doesn't benefit him, he just tears it up. And he just suspends it and do whatever he wants. But everybody else better still continue to follow the rules according to him. So that's why he has that ultimate God complex, a narcissist, and he's going to be destroyed for his unjust, wicked, abominable ways. So, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. So yeah, see, she's so-called Edomites, so-called white race Edomites. They kill and destroy everybody, rule over them with the iron fist, unjustly and harshly, and hypocritically. So it's going to come back upon them. So much torment and sorrow give her upon her own head. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. So she thinks she's going to be like this forever. Thinks she's going to be able to bully everybody and be able to dominate unjustly for perpetuity. If that, perpetually ruling forever, right? Just being a wicked demon ruling forever over everybody. Cancer can't last forever. It's going to run its course and get cut out and burnt. Which is so-called white man Esau Edom is. So from there we go to Revelations chapter 13 and verse 9 through 10. If any man have an ear, let him hear. So that means if any man have understanding, let him hear. Verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Who led the Israelites into captivity and still have them in his hands to this day and refuse to let him go like Pharaoh did in ancient Egypt? So-called white man Esau Edom. So he led us into captivity. He's going to go in captivity. It's going to happen, like I just read, because judgment isn't executed speedily. It's in man's heart to continuously be evil. I'm paraphrasing, but he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. So who killed us with the sword? Broke our backs with rods and whips, ripped the flesh off our back during slavery, and still killing us in the streets to this day. Modern day sword is the gun. The slave patrol, aka cops, killing us in the streets. That's Esau Edom, killing us. He that kill us with the sword, he must. The Lord didn't say probably, or the Lord didn't say you must forgive him and forgive and forget, like he said. The Lord didn't say it must be left in the past. No, he didn't say that, like wicked Edomites, so-called white people say. Oh, that's a long time ago. That was our ancestor. That we didn't do that. But you still have us in your hands. You still enjoying the benefits of and reaping the evil, wicked seeds and deeds of your wicked ancestors. You ain't gave us a penny and a dollar. And we more destroyed now because we don't even know that we're supposed to be unified. At least we were unified then in physical bondage. Now we in spiritual bondage, not even knowing who our enemies are, not knowing who our brother is. We hate our brother, evil out towards our brother, and give the love we're supposed to give to each other to our oppressor. Stockholm syndrome. So, and finishing off the verse, here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So this is our faith, this is our patience, and this is our comfort, knowing that this verse, the Lord say, he that leads you in captivity, whoever leads in captivity, gonna go. That's karma. That's righteous recompense. And eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Wicked Christianity led by Esau Edom say, that's why he say do the Old Testament done away with and the law done away with, because he don't want to be bound to these inevitable judgments of karma coming upon him. What goes around, what goes around, come back around to you like a boomerang, you know. And that's those seeds that's going to grow, and then you're going to reap. You're going to have a bountiful, plenteous reaping of all your wicked deeds upon your own head. Esau, Edom, so-called white man. So from there, we'll go to Jeremiah chapter 50. Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 24. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon. Babylon here in this context, this is future Babylon. This is so-called white, so-called, this is America. O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found, and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Most High power Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai. So striven means, fighting. So everything you lay up, all the laws and everything that they protect in the society, and you line up the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, Esau, everything he does directly conflicts and strives against the laws of the Lord. So they want to lay and put in laws calling saying no more hate speech against all of their wickedness. So anything calling out their wickedness, they want to label it hate speech. Well, we are given emotions to love and to hate, to know what to love. Like the Lord say, love the good, hate the evil. But Esau, he want to put in unrighteous decrees to demonize righteousness. Lifting up your voice like a trumpet, Isaiah 58:1, letting the people know their transgressions. That goes into the Israelites, but you also tell the wicked, because we're in the neck of our enemies right now, behind enemy lines in Babylon the Great. So the Most High said, he laid a snare. He got him in a trick bag. Because Esau think he's going to continue, but the Most High got a trap laid for him, and he's going to fall in it. He's going to fall in that trap in the midst of him fulfilling all of his wicked inventions, or trying to fulfill his wicked inventions. Jeremiah 51:9 from here. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth into heaven, and is lifted up to the sky, even to the skies. So Babylon's wickedness exceeding up to the heavens. The nations that are at peace with her, they're going to bounce on her and leave and go to their own countries, because they sense all the wickedness is about to catch up to Esau, Edom. From there we go to Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 6. Habakkuk 2 verse 6. And it reads, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? Is America the so-called white man's? No. He increased it how? By all the nations, well, starting with his own. They came over here, split up the land, different tribes and nations of his own. French, Spanish, Portuguese, and the English. Got North, Central, South America, and divided up amongst themselves, and then allowed the other heathen to come and tag team and come and lick the wounds of the Israelites and make money off of us. That's why they have all their businesses in our hoods, making all that money. For each nation is in our hoods, eating off of us deliciously. Off the white man, or so-called white man, giving them that power. So, a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. So what is this thick clay? We'll go ahead and read it real quick and see what that word means. Himself with thick clay down here. Tit.
Strong's H, 5671. Avtit.
So a Hebrew word, avtit. So it means a weight of pledges, heavy debts. So what's a pledge? So like In college, they have loans called student pledge loans. So you pledge into, it's like a promise to pay back. That's a heavy debt. And we know that the Federal Reserve notes, so-called money, the monopoly money is actually what it is. Those are Federal Reserve notes. Those are IOUs. Basically, those are pledges. Those are weighted pledges, and they are and that's just their main currency. They It's crazy because they have so much debt to even their own currency that they use for money is debt. That's how much debt they got. They own, even their money is debt that they call money. And they owe debt to China that they won't be able to pay back, and they just drowning in debt. So the Most High say, woe to them that laden with thick clay, ladeth himself. And we see the debt ceiling is like trillions of dollars. I think over 100, over like hundreds of trillions of dollars. I think it's like in the 20s right now, but it's a lot more than that. So Esau Edom, he's about done, and it's the same way Rome fell through the money and the debt that they had in Rome. There's nothing new under the sun, and Esau Edom so stupid he couldn't avoid that same fate. In the revised Roman Empire, the beast was wounded, that and was revived through America, because they had the whole Congress and the Roman Empire, the first type of government rulership and structure different from any kingdom in the history of all kingdoms before them. And now America has the same government structure with the whole 300-seat Congress. I believe it's 300-seat Congress and all of that nonsense up there over there in Washington. But so it's all coming to a head again. History repeating itself with the money system and the thick clay, the debt, and it's coming back upon Esau's head. And so from there we go to Revelations chapter 18, verse 16 through 20. And saying, alas, alas, that great city, that was clothed in fine linen, and purple, and scarlet, and decked with gold, and precious stones, and pearls. So that goes into all of their riches that they had. All of the money they stole, all the gold they stole, and silver, and also the riches of the Israelites, as the Most High referenced us as his jewels, his gold and his silver, his goodly, pleasant things. And so, verse 17, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off. Right now they got a backlog of shipping containers that need to go back to China to receive more, products to ship back over here. That's their main source of they import everything. So there's ships out in the water right now, just sitting up waiting to come in and be docked, and it's a labor shortage to be able to take over on the West Coast, over in California, that receive all those shipping containers. So that's what that's going into. This is the beginning of all of those sorrows. So America is done. The walls are closing in on every side. Their money, their merchandise, the merchants, the money with the other nations, and everything is in the pestilences and the famines, food shortages, water shortages, shelves are getting more and more bare throughout the country. This place is, the Most High got them in a trick bag, and that's that snare he got up underneath Babylon the Great. Babylon is just about done. And so verse 18, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? So never in the history of mankind have a city been like America. The city representing, the great city, Babylon the Great, Babylon, and modern day Babylon, America. So this is the richest city, the richest country in the history of, it has all the riches of all the nations across all four corners of the earth. Verse 19, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. So everything is coming down crashing real fast, and so it's going to come at a sudden instant, where the dollar and the money system is going to fail. You know, the stupid Wall Street, all this garbage is going to go belly up, just like that. But we're seeing all of the birth pains of it right now. We're seeing all of the pains compassing all around right now. So verse 20, rejoice over her. Oh yeah, also, these other nations, they making a lot of money with these ships and, sending over their merchandise, especially China. Everything made in China. So everything you got pretty much is made in China and other nations as well. So verse 20, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the most high power Yahweh hath avenged you on her. So that's that karma. So they've been sowing evil deeds and seeds, and then this is what they're reaping in the end. That's about to come to a head here pretty soon, based off the prophecies, jumping off the pages every day, and everything's speeding up. Verse 21, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. Because Esau Edom, he's the only nation that's not promised salvation, or that's not promised mercy, I should say, not salvation, but that's not going to receive mercy because of all of the wicked, blasphemous deeds and acts, worse than any nation and kingdom in the history of mankind. So that stone, like a great millstone, that goes right there too into Yahushua, the Messiah, when he returned. It's going to be cast into the sea. How? When he returned, the sea is an analogy for people. So Yahushua is that chief cornerstone, and he's going to get cast. He's going to come back and return, smack dab right in the middle of Esau Edom's kingdom. And also the missiles, and the thermonuclear fire and the chariot laser beam fire that Yahushua going to be on, and all the other innumerable amount of chariots that's going to be blasting the thermonuclear, the chariot fire as well, laser beam fire. So from there we'll go to Daniel chapter 2 and 34 to expand a little bit more on that stone. Daniel chapter 2 and verse 34, and it reads, Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet, that were of iron and clay, and brake them in pieces. So that iron and clay, so that stone cut without hands, that's the invisible power of the Most High and Yahushua returning, and the chief cornerstone Yahushua is going to come and smote the image upon his feet. So the image the image here in Daniel chapter 2 is talking about it went into the breakdown of all of the four kingdoms that was going to rule, and the end days when Yahushua return, that stone is going to return, and at the feet of that statue, its feet of iron mixed with clay. Strong nations mixed with weak nations in the European Union and NATO. That chief cornerstone is hitting that feet, let you know that that's when he's going to return during the reign and rulership of Esau Edom. So verse 33 right here, it says his legs of iron, his feet, part of iron and part of clay. That's going, because their legs of iron goes into the Roman Empire. It fell and then got resurrected. That's that part of that iron in the feet. And then a part of clay are the weak nations that are little brothers to America right now in the European Union and NATO. And so from there we read more on Esau getting destroyed. Malachi 1 and 4. That's Micah Slakia. Malachi 1 and 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down. So they built all throughout the earth, and chiefly over here in Babylon the Great, or so-called America. And the Most High is going to throw it down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness. That's that wicked root. A wicked root cannot produce any righteous fruit or righteous seed. And the people against whom the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai hath indignation forever. So the Most High have righteous anger forever against the wicked Esau Edom. So that's in the end, Esau, all of his wickedness is going to catch up to him. He's only been wicked throughout all of his rulerships, from the Greco-Roman Empire when he first began as a world superpower, his first kingdom and rulership, the Greco-Roman Empire around 331 BC, to the Roman Empire, fell, was cast in, he was in the caves for 1,000 years, so-called Dark Ages, when he was insignificant rat peasant. Then he came out them caves, so-called Renaissance, which means a rebirth. He was rebirthed, and that was that beast that was wounded to death but was revived through them when they came back during the Renaissance, revitalized the Roman Empire, and which is America now, Babylon the Great. So from there we go to Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. Verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. So that's that karma. It's going to catch up to them. It's going to catch up to to their children for their wicked deeds, for the fathers' wicked deeds. So the Israelites that went into captivity, we went into captivity and got rounded up on the west coast of Africa, but they wasn't, they had to suffer, and we've suffering to this day. We wasn't doing no wickedness like that, but the generations after that generation suffers as well. The children suffers what the father's done as well. Or you receive righteousness, or you receive just evil from the Lord for your deeds, which is your seeds. Acts of, seed, acts of seed, seed, acts of, I'm trying to say, you acts like seeds. But yeah, so, from there we'll go to Sirach, because when you bring this out, they want to bellyache. So-called white folks, they want to bellyache. Well, we didn't do that. That's our ancestors. What are you talking about? All this nonsense, all of these lies and philosophies to try to escape judgment. But they benefiting from the wickedness of their fathers. They not denying that. They don't say anything about enjoying wicked deeds. But then when it's time to pay for those for the enjoyment of wicked deeds, then they want to, that's just a serpent for you. And they only deserve, death, because it's no good in these people. So Ecclesiasticus chapter 41, verse 7, and it reads, "The children will complain of an ungodly father, because they shall be reproached for his sake." So whenever you bring up the wickedness of their forefathers, everything was all good until they get confronted with the wickedness of what they enjoying, and why they able to walk around and act like they so pure. When they impure, they're impious. They're wicked as hell. So from there we go to Isaiah 14, verse 1. "For the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai will have mercy on Jacob." That's so-called, not so-called, that's the so-called blacks, Spanish, Native Americans, American Indians, the lost 12 tribes of Israel. The Most High going to have mercy upon us, and will yet choose Israel, the Israelites, and set them in their own land. Because why would we need to be set in our own land? We were in our own land. The Lord kicked us out because we were wicked, and then He punished us and chastened us for a season over here in America, Babylon the Great. And then we going to be residing over here and throughout the four corners of the earth until the Lord put us back in the land. That's how you know that the rat fake Jews over there that's claiming our heritage and our identity, the greatest identity theft of all time. That's how you know that they're not the true Jews. Because Why are they over there right now? Because they set themselves over there by man's hands. The invisible hands of the Most High Power is going to work and put us back and going to install us back in our own land, not man's hands, and set up a decree and make yourself a state of Israel. That garbage, that's just of Esau, Edom. That ain't righteousness at all. That's that blueprint is of Esau, Edom, not the Most High. So, and continuing on, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. So these strangers is going to be those that's going to pay for licking the wounds and licking the wounds and the afflictions, eating off of our afflictions. They're going to cleave to us. In verse 2, and the people shall take them. Who is the people? That's the Israelites. Going to take them and bring them to their place. Going to bring them to their servitude quarters. And they're, you know what I'm saying, they're going to bring them to their place of slavery and where they're going to be at. However, the Lord is going to ordain it. And the house of Yasharallah, and the house of Yasharallah, house of Israel, shall possess them in the land of the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai for servants and handmaids. See, as the game is going to get flipped because they did us this way, and now they got to pay us back for servants and handmaids. That's slavery, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. So that's karma. We went into captivity. Now they're going to have to go into captivity, like Revelation 13 and 10 say, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So who oppress us? Esau, Edom, and also these other heathen nations in bed with Esau, Edom as well. So from there we read, so that's more karma for Esau, Edom, Proverbs 26 and 27. Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him. That's the Wile E. Coyote Esau. You know, Wile E. Coyote is always trying to set traps for the road runner, and it always come to bite him in the end. And that karma comes upon him immediately. That's why I had this picture in the beginning when Wile E. Coyote is coming back upon his head right there. That's Esau down there. Now all of a sudden he won't help you. Ain't that some stuff, man? Esau Edom, he love killing everybody else. He don't be thinking about mercy when he trying to destroy somebody, setting a trap. As soon as it come upon his own head, then he won't help. You know what I'm saying? That's why the devil got to just get cut out of the earth because he ain't got no good in him, man. Wicked bastard. But and then from there we'll go to Job chapter 5. Job chapter 5 and verse 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. So enterprise goes into business, you know. See, the righteous, the Israelites, like beginning with Yahushua, what did he say? I'm about my father's business. Who his father is? Yahweh, the almighty power. And what's the most high power business? The law, statutes, and commandments. And fulfilling the law. And laying down the true proper doctrine. That's what Yahushua did. That's what he was all about. Laying down the proper foundation of the doctrine of how it was supposed to be lived out. Because Yahushua was the word, as I say, the word made flesh. When you think about that, the literal words in the pages, Yahushua was the living example, living, breathing example of the word, because he did everything to the T, to the jot, and to the tittle of the law. Everything written in it, Yahushua fulfilled to show us how to do it, because we lost our way. So Yahushua had to come and say, hey, y'all messed up. This is how y'all do it. Follow me. This is exactly how it's supposed to be done. So actually, the Yahushua made the law tighter, because he said if you think it in your mind, it's a sin. Because people had thoughts and everything in their mind was a lot freer. Yahushua came and tightened it up even more. So it's stiffer than it was before Yahushua came. So Yahushua don't play around. Austere man. So from there, we'll go ahead and read Isaiah 59 and 19. Verse 19, it reads, So shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai shall lift up a standard against him. So Esau think he's going to fulfill his belly, going to fulfill his enterprise, he thinks, his wicked device, his mischief. So when you look at that word standard, it's nuwak.
Strong's H 5127. Noose. Noose.
Like nuwak. But it's a little different. They have a Yiddish version of Hebrew, the true ancient. This is Assyrian up here, these letters, these Assyrian letters up here. The Syrian Hebrew. Gotta brush up on it a little bit. I gotta brush up on the Assyrian, but I know the Paleo Hebrew. I gotta brush up on the Assyrian Hebrew characters right here. But so anyway, so the word for hidden right here is to flee, escape, to flee, to escape, to take flight, depart, to disappear, to fly, to the attack on horseback, to drive at, to take flight, to put to flight, to drive hastily, to cause, to disappear, hide. So these are different. These are going to be different miraculous events that's going to occur with the elect. Lord willing, I'm of that number, and the sincere brethren and sisters are on here as well. You know, listening to this are as well. But so Esau think he's gonna come in, and right when that happens, you know, so he's in a trick bag. The Most High going to bring His divine power and miraculous wonders upon the earth again, and miraculous events going to be. It's going to the Most High is going to reintroduce His miraculous divine acts as we read that happened throughout history in the old ancient biblical days. So some brothers gonna be able to just flee. Gonna have probably like Flash type, you know, like the comic book character Flash. He can run super fast. Can probably run really fast. Or some may go through walls. Then they say to fly. Gonna fly like they have wings, mount up and fly and take off, and just disappear. You know, it's gonna be pretty incredible times, and incredible deeds is gonna be occurring. So Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 5 through 7, or 5 through 6, I think. More karma for Esau. Ezekiel 35 and 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. See, Esau his hatred will never end. Most of our people are simple and they think that, you know, Esau, they're all not bad. Yeah, they doing like my own brother. He wanna, you know, he said something about Edomites helping him, helping him out. So, you know, people think that just because Esau, a couple of them might help you out, then that's that Ecclesiastes 7 and 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroy the heart. So one or two Edomites do something, or you see an Edomite that actually did something that was decent, then your heart soften. You think, oh, they're not all bad. I'm not going to have that, harbor that. Well, it's biblical. Two manner of people in the womb. Two different people shall be separated from Rebekah's bowels. We're two totally different people. We're the good seed. They're the wicked seed. But most I say hate the evil and love the good. So, you know, you don't understand biblical scriptures if you're thinking that Esau, Edom is not bad. Just like we have to suffer for our wickedness, Esau, he has his time. He's going to have to suffer and be burned off the face of the earth, according to Obadiah 1 and 18. But so he has a perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of the children of Yasharallah by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. See, because Esau, he went too far, as he always do. He can never have enough. He has an insatiable appetite that can never be satisfied. So it's in verse 6. Therefore, as I live, said the Most High Power, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So Esau Edom, he hates blood. He's never despised blood. He actually pursues it. He actually wants it. He plots for people blood to be shed, like he did the Native Americans, so-called Native Americans, the tribe of Gad in the Northern Kingdom that was over here. He loves shedding blood. So since that's karma, it's gonna come back around, a boomerang. That blood he chased it. Now blood gonna chase him. So it's righteous judgment. So, and then from there, Isaiah chapter 9, verse 15. Got a couple more verses, and that'll be it. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 15. The ancient and honorable he is. Hold up, Slack, yeah. Is that the right word? 9 and 5? Yeah, there we go. Isaiah 9, chapter 9, verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise. That's talking about the old ancient battlefield. That's how you know it's foolishness today in the military, and it's an abomination for a woman to be in the military. A woman could not dare be in the military in the old ancient times, and where true, real men and warriors, existed then, because the ancient battlefield was a literal field, and the armies lined up with shield, sword, and buckler and armory, and we battled, stabbing, slicing, chopping. Man strength, not no women. A woman could ever compete, can never fight against a man. It's a joke, Esau gassed up the women in this feminist weak queendom, not a kingdom, but a queendom. You know what I'm saying? So, reason why women can do it now because of guns. But even in competitions, the men still dominate the women in these competitions, but still they can have a fighting chance. They can just shoot the gun from long range, right? But any nations that would have a woman in the military in the ancient days would have immediately been looked at as a vulnerable, weak military, and they would have been destroyed because a woman cannot nowhere near compete with a man. Just look at the NBA and the WNBA for an analogy. There's no comparison on the competition, entertainment value, and the skill, right? Not to down a woman, but she has her place. She has a role. But most I say, give respect unto the woman as unto the weaker vessel. The Most High made her as that way. She has her role, not to be a man. Yes. Let all things be done decently and in order. But Esau Edom is all about chaos and all about disorder. That's the only way he can rule. Under Satan is his God, Esau Edom. So, verse 5, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. See, Esau, he's in the trick bag because he thinking that, he was going to create these weapons, these thermonuclear weapons of mass destruction. Thought he was going to use that to destroy and to perpetually bully everybody on the earth. But nope, it's for their own demise by the Lord. From there, Isaiah verse 50, Isaiah chapter 54 and verse 16, and it reads, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. So the modern day smith are the scientists and everyone, those German scientists that created created these nuclear weapons, nuclear bombs, and these scientists that created these modern militarized weapons. The Most High created them. So the Most High gave them a little technology, he gave them a little something. They're thinking that they all that, But the spiritual, the Most High gave them, allowed them to have allowed Esau Edom to have carnal power, a little bit of carnal technology. But the spiritual technology of the chariots and everything, that's his only begotten son Yahweh Shai, and the angels, and for his chosen nation, the Israelites. So verse 16 again, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. That's the thermonuclear weapons, the thermonuclear missiles, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. So these thermonuclear missiles are the waster, which is going to destroy Esau, Edom. And since I'm in that topic, just real quick, last verse here, Isaiah 14, I think like 20 or 23. Yeah, Isaiah 14 and 23. I will also make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water. This is going into the Most High, speaking about how Babylon in the verse above, he going into the results of destroying this wicked queendom over here, so-called America. I will, from the top again, verse 23, I will also make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, saith the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai of hosts. Host means armies. The Most High Power Yahweh of armies. Exodus 15 and 3, the Most High Power is a man of war. The Lord Yahweh is his name. So, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction. What's that sweeping? That's that thermonuclear wind that's going to sweep over the land, sweep over the earth. That thermonuclear fire is going to sweep, and that's the broom of this, and that besom goes to the broom of destruction. What a broom does when you sweep it really fast, it creates a gust of wind, and that's how that thermonuclear missile is going to spread out like that, like a broom sweeping over the land. Sweep with the besom. See, the word besom means broom, and it's a Hebrew word.
Strong's H 4292. Matate. Matate.
So you say matate. But yeah, so broom. So that's that broom of destruction. That fire is going to sweep over the land like a broom. That's a very terrible, horrible judgment and a thought to think about. So keep the commandments. Hope the Most High Power beam you up in the chariots when Yahweh shall return, so you won't feel that broom of that thermonuclear fire sweep over you like a broom. Keep the law, statutes, and commandments, repent, and follow Yahweh shall whithersoever he goeth. And he went down the law, statutes, the path of the commandments of the Most High, and that's what we have to do. Only way we can get and repent, fast, pray for forgiveness, and be genuine and sincere, and we part of the hopeful elect. So with that, I hope this video was edifying. Thank the Most High Power, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chakwadash, with the Holy Spirit to be able to articulate and put a video out, and hope it's edifying for the body. To the next video, I say, Shalom.